Do you feel when these dark times in life came to you? For some people, they say when they're in a depression, it's maybe not a comparable, so you can say that day it fuels maybe the need for them to write or produce or create something. Was this for you the case, or were you just totally drawn away from it?
No, I mean, at the time, after the initial feeling of I can't do anything, I did. I mean, you know, my last solo, the most recent solo album, One Good Thing, was very much fueled by a lot of that process. But then I came to the point of going into the writing the New Lamb album and feeling like I had this resistance to writing toward, you know, in these blocks of time, and also I just felt like I had nothing to say. And that was, you know, as a writer, that's really difficult when you just feel like you don't have anything.
Was it because maybe the thing that you wanted to do in your solo work, you thought you had said it all in that? Or?
Yeah, I think so. So I came to this kind of point, like a watershed moment, where I was just, I don't know whether I have it in me to write any more songs. And it was timed with writing.
Were you at peace with that? I mean, was that something that you could live with, maybe at some point in your life?
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that we'd decided to write a New Lamb album, I might have lived with it, and God knows what else I would have done, but, you know. And then, so we're in this situation, and I'm in the studio with Andy, who's like my little brother, who winds me up no end, and also we have this incredible, these days our relationship is very supportive of one another. And he was just like, well, Lou, you're gonna have to write, you're not going anywhere. And was very, you know, he was kind of on the other end of the spectrum. He was full of ideas because he'd just come back from Burning Man Festival in Nevada and was just fired up completely and just, yeah, we're going to do this, and, you know, was really excited about writing a New Lamb album. So it was kind of the interplay of those two forces, and it was like I had to come to this wall of kind of, I had to push through that, really, of, you know, that kind of crisis, and then the songs became the process, you know, writing songs was the subject matter in itself, you know. And in a way it was more real than anything I'd written before, because I was writing literally in that moment of, I don't know what am I going to write about? And the songs became that.
Because, were you in regular contact with Andy when you were working on your solo stuff, or was it just a little bit because we played a show in 2009, I think?
Yeah.
Was it after that you, maybe the contact between you got more intense, or was it always there? So?
We were in contact over the years after we split, but I think, you know, at first we had to have a bit of distance from each other because, you know, things had got difficult. The split was more fueled by me than it was by Andy, so he felt kind of quite, he found it really difficult.
Abandoned a little bit?
He didn't, and whereas I was dying to go off, I knew what I wanted to do, he was a bit, so he ended up travelling and kind of finding himself and became a father for the first time, and, you know, he kind of had just gone with his life a bit, really.
Would you say that because you have a little bit of age difference that played part maybe in your career at some point?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's always been there because I was kind of the big sister figure, you know. And, you know, back in the day when I had my first child was during Fear of Fours, and so it was very early in our career, and we'd be on the road and I'd be kind of getting up with babies on the tour bus while they were going to sleep.
What was his reaction? I mean, he was probably, he liked it, but were at moments, was he afraid maybe that you would have your priorities elsewhere?
Yeah, I'm sure. And he was always very generous around that. I mean, he was, you know, Andy's always been absolutely brilliant around my kids, and they just really love him as well, you know. It's like, Andy's coming over, you know, they really love him, and he's always been very loving towards them. But I think it was challenging for him, for sure, yeah.